Hello, my dear friend, and welcome. This is super exciting. This is super new. I'm nervous because I'm starting something new. This is a new chapter, and I can feel it. I can feel it in my whole body. This is my podcast, Manifest with Voice. And voice is something that I've been living. I don't just teach it. I don't just practice it. I don't just sing or speak or use my voice, however you use it. I live it. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I think I'm even going to start cry. How I am excited to share finally in a longer format, in a podcast, everything I know, everything I've experienced. There is so much to tell. My name is Santa. And I'm the creator of the voice code method. And this method is based on the fact that your voice is not just for speaking, it's not just for singing. Many people just stop it there, I can speak, but many people say I don't have voice. And usually I'm like, okay, if you can say that to me, then obviously you do have voice. And if you can do that, then 100% your voice can also be your best tool. And I'm going to dive very deep into this topic, how your voice can be your tool to create your most magical, most amazing life. And yes, it does sound a bit weird maybe if you're completely new in this, but please stay curious, stay open-minded, because all the things that I'm going to share with you, they're very logical, actually. There's a bit of magic, of course, as well, like everywhere. I love magic. But all these things that I'm going to share with you, it's all logical. It's all based in your body. Your body is actually way more intelligent, way more amazing than you think. And your voice is the most profound proof for that. Your voice is magical. Your voice connects so many important things. So I'm going to speak about all the things that I'm super excited about. I'm burning about these things. And I speak to people who also burn about these things, or they're maybe just curious. So if you're just curious, stay open-minded, and that is enough. That is enough sometimes to hear or even feel something that just changes your life. That's what I love about podcasts. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts myself, and I know this format is just amazing. It's amazing for those who really want to go deep in topics. And I am going to bring you very deep. And as far as I know, I am the only one. Like, I haven't heard anyone else speaks about voice in this kind of a depth. I know there are many people working with voice and in different depths, but especially this topic, manifestation with voice, that is something new. And that actually, this combination of words came to me just recently, and I realized this is the most powerful thing. I've been kind of avoiding it because manifestation seems kind of a bit overused, and so I was shying away from it. But actually, it fits perfectly because the people who really are in this topic of manifestation, they know that manifestation is so much more than just visualization and thinking good thoughts and just like attracting and magnetizing things to you. Like, it's so much more there. And your voice, oh my God, your voice is such a key. Like, my method is called voice code method, and your voice is a code. I'm going much more in depth about all the things that voice can impact in your life, in your well-being, in your body, in your energy, in your everything. But this I want to make more as an introduction. I want to share my story because I am not a singer. I am not, like, I wasn't born an opera singer or anything like that. I loved to sing when I was a kid. I remember I loved to sing these "Oh Sole Mio" when I was a kid, but slowly I got silenced. And I just asked my mom as well, like, do you remember when was the point when I really got like silenced, when my voice became more silent? And she said, yeah, when you went to school. And that happens so much to so many of us. We go to school, we like when we are born, we're just this pure bundle of authenticity. Like there's nothing fake. You've seen a small baby, probably, there's nothing fake until like 5-ish, 4-ish years. Until then, it's pure authenticity. And the expression is pure until someone or something silences it down. So many of us have experienced this. You are this pure love, pure shining light, and then you just get dimmed and dimmed and dimmed until you're like, okay, my light is not welcome here, so I'm just gonna play along. That's all I can do. I'm just going to play along. So that's what I did. I played along, and actually there's so much, like I was so suppressed. And depressed, and there's a lot that was happening in my life. And during this podcast, I will also share these bits from my life in order to extract the most important lessons from it, because I have so many stories, so many experiences, so many valuable things I want to share with the ones who are ready to hear them. But one of these things, yes, my voice was silenced. I knew I have a voice. I knew I have a loud voice, and I was always very shy about it. I kept it to myself, and there was actually two far ends. I was either very quiet or I was very loud. It's also like a sign of a low self-esteem if you're too loud or if you're too quiet. And I was both ends. I was either inadequately loud with my friends, or I was super quiet, super shy in other circumstances. And I suffered a lot. I had such a low self-esteem, and I was like, I don't even remember myself singing even in the shower. My voice was very silenced. I had difficulty sharing my honest feelings. It almost like if I had to tell someone my honest thoughts, I thought I would rather die. It was like that. And I know some of you may understand this because it's a human thing, to suppress your feelings, and then you suffer from that. So I was suffering in my own beautiful way. And this suffering led me to finally to this breaking point where I started to look into things. And my healing journey started with shamanism, of course, but many people's healing journeys start. So it started with shamanism. I will not go too much into depth, but it involved a lot of shamanic ceremonies in Latin America, in different places. A lot of work with the healing plants, and it was amazing. I loved it. And it was also dark, and it was also very traumatic at some level, but it brought many lessons. And the most important thing that it brought to me was my voice, because I discovered my voice in one of these ceremonies. I was just randomly asked to sing in one of these ceremonies. I did not see it coming. Like, it was so unexpected. I was caught on shock. I was just like, what do you want me to do now? Like, what? And there were like 20 other people in the ceremony, and they were all, of course, as it happens, they were all in their own experience. So that was my, like, I thought, I'm gonna pass out. If you had any experiences with these shamanic plants, then everything is very charged there. Everything is very exaggerated. Lots of things are happening. Like, it's super sensitive, vulnerable place to be. But it's the healing place, and for me as well, it was crazy, but it was healing, and that was the most important moment. Now I even look back, maybe one of the most important moments in my life, because the shaman came to me and she's like, okay, I need to sing now. The plant wants you to open your song. And there was a moment of silence in me while I was like, what does she want me to do? So you could just imagine, like, if you're a bit shy yourself, and just on this, regular consciousness, is if someone comes up to you and they're like, okay, you need to sing now in front of these 20 strangers, you need to sing. So obviously it freaks you out. And in this setting, it freaks you out even more. You can't even compare it to anything else. But then, of course, I went through this, like, I thought I'm gonna puke and purge from my throat. And I just felt how my throat is kind of even becoming swollen. So much shame was there. So much of this suppression, so much fear, so much of me pushing myself down for years and years and years. And this whole thing was kind of just like energetically becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I just opened my mouth and I just started to sound this very shy sound. And it was like the most unimaginable healing moment I could imagine. Like, I didn't even know I need this kind of a thing. I didn't know I need to open my voice. Like, that was not even closely a concept in my life. But there I was, singing my shy song and just realizing that this is something very important happening in my life at the moment. And it was. I will not go in too many details, but in the next few years, all I did was just sitting home, just at the bonfire. Those were my shamanic years. And I was like drumming and chanting and just going deeper and deeper into these sounds. I was just experimenting with my voice a couple of years. I don't, like maybe 2-ish years. Those were the COVID years, actually, the pandemic years. And I was sitting in the countryside, burning a lot of bonfires, drumming my drums, my rattles, all like shamanism all in, doing my rituals, doing all my things, and singing. So you can imagine someone who has never even thought about singing, except of when I was 6 years old and when I was singing with some of the pop musicians, and I was like, yes, I want to be a singer, of course, but not on my grown up years, And then I was almost 30 years old, 21, 29 or something, and I was singing, or even I call it sounding, for the first time in my life. If your voice is blocked, if you are shy, if you have this deep fear of speaking up, and if you think you don't have voice, then you may maybe closely understand what might it feel when you finally find your voice, you open your voice, you finally let it sound in its full spectrum. And this as well is something that most people don't know. I'm going to speak a lot about this. We don't know nothing about us. And that was actually a very important moment for me to understand. I know nothing about myself. Even I know nothing about myself if I didn't even know how my voice sounds, how my voice can feel, because that's another topic. Like, I don't need any more plant medicine in my life. My voice is bringing me to all the places. It's bringing me all the visions, all the sensations, and it's opening actually so much more. That's why this is, oh my God, this is so much more exciting than taking any drug or taking any substance or plant, or I'm not against it. I'm not doing it anymore. My drug, my plant, my substance now is my voice. And the clients who come to me, they have the same experiences. And it's not just me hallucinating. Many people who've come to me who also had these plant medicine experiences, they do these vocal practices. And then they say, wow, this is even stronger. This is even more profound than having the plant medicine. Because this is you. This is your resource. This comes from you. This is instrument, which is even more powerful than any Tibetan bowl or crystal bowl. People are buying these and are like, oh my God, I have this set of crystal bowls. But you're not using your own crystal bowl that is for free, that is right here, right with you. You don't even know how powerful that is. It's crazy. And that's why I'm so excited to speak about this, because not so many people know about it. Like there's a fraction of people who actually, like the ones who sing, and also singers don't even really realize how powerful is voice. So I'm going off the path now, but basically I opened my voice in the ceremony. I did a couple of years of just experimenting with it. My neighbors heard me singing and they were like, "Santa, what is that? Is that your voice?" And I was like, "Yes, that's my voice. Do you wanna come listen? Do you wanna sing with me?" And slowly I started implementing this into my practices. So at the time I was doing some my own things. I was looking for myself. I was just like grasping at things, trying to like find me, because I knew there is a path for me, but I cannot find it yet. And voice slowly led me closer to that path. I was singing, and I started singing in my practices that I was doing at the time, which was I was a traditional sauna practitioner, which is a thing here in Latvia, where I'm from. And in the most difficult moments, I just started to ask people to open their mouths and let out the sounds. Like, what is the worst thing that can happen? And the biggest healing, the biggest expansion, the biggest release happened at those moments. And then I realized this is something very powerful. Not just how I sing, because I was also singing these healing shamanic songs, but also when the other person starts using their voice. Now that's the magic. Now that's the medicine. When the other person realizes, okay, I have this as well. So a couple of years have passed by now, and I've led tens and tens of group events where all of us open our voices, and I lead people through these very unique but very, very simple practices to open their voices, to connect with their most authentic parts that people haven't even touched until they come to my event. And then they're like, wow, is this my voice? Can I really sound like that? And it's not just that. Your voice is just the tip of the iceberg. It's just the tip. It's just the gate. The voice opens so much. It's just incredible. So I worked with more than 1,000 people now in live events, in retreats, in courses, in one-on-one sessions as well. And the results that I've received have been incredible. It's just incredible. Sometimes I'm shocked myself, I do this every day, so it's my everyday life now. I live this every day. I live this magic of my voice every day. But when other people report their results, their like what's changed in their life, what's changed in their well-being, in their confidence, in their ability to carry themselves into this world, into this life, how they speak, how they put their boundaries as well. There's so much, how their energy is waking up. It's incredible. And voice makes you feel things that you might not feel with anything else. And like I said before, it's your tool, it's your own resource. Like Wim Hof says, you are getting high on your own resource. And voice, of course, also involves breath. So there's a lot of amazing things behind this. So I am presenting to you this amazing tool, the third way how to use your voice, apart from speaking, apart from singing, is manifestation, is creating your best life, is breaking the limits that you know about yourself. And most likely you had no idea. Like me, I also had no idea, and now I'm just shouting it from the rooftops. I know I'll be doing this for years more. Because this is too important. This is too amazing to just not do this. And I'm living it. So this whole podcast will be a lot about inner transformation, about authenticity, about also spirituality. And all of this is going to be tied together with voice, because voice is a tool of connection. a tool of expansion, and there's going to be a lot of interesting unheard things. And I also will give you practice. Even in this podcast, I will give you short voice practices just to try out with me. So there's going to be some interesting interactive bits as well, because I want you to start feeling it. I want you to start tasting the medicine of your voice. It's amazing. And thank you so much for being here. In the next episode, we'll dive into what's really under your voice and why opening it will change your whole life. This has been very amazing to share it in my most authentic way as I can in English. And I know I will open up even more as well because I'm on a journey as well. And this is a super exciting one. And I love to hear from you. Subscribe if you like my podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.